That disgusting fishing hobby of yours ends today, Garrison. I don't care if you've been here since the Stone Age. This is a civilized community now, and we will not tolerate your backwoods behavior ruining our property values. That's how it started. Priscilla Whitehaven, HOA president, standing on my dock at 6:30 in the morning, designer sunglasses still fogged from the dew, waving a jug of algae killer like it was holy water. I'm telling you, you haven't lived until you see a woman in a $1, $200 blazer pour $8,500 worth of copper sulfate straight into your federally protected research site, all while 47 racing drones buzz overhead, filming your face for the lawsuit she's planning to slap you with. Welcome to Lake Mitchell, folks, where the smell of honeysuckle and chlorine now means your life's work is circling the drain. Let me back up a sec. My name's Thaddeus Garrison. I'm 48, a marine biologist, the kind of guy who gets weirdly excited about snail populations and water chemistry. And yeah, I'm the stubborn old scientist at the heart of this little suburban drama. This lake isn't just my home, it's my whole life. 15 years ago, after the Chesapeake oil spill, I spent 3 years developing bioremediation techniques that saved 17 species from extinction. My reward: the federal government quietly handed me custodial rights to this spring-fed 18-acre lake, critical habitat for endangered species research zone, the works. Only problem: nobody told the neighbors I had more authority here than the HOA president. At first, Millbrook Heights was peaceful. A few joggers would wave, kids would ask about the fish, the world turned. Then Priscilla moved in. 2 years later, she's got the neighborhood locked down like a country club with an attitude problem. Picture her platinum blonde helmet hair, power suit at a barbecue leather portfolio, even for a dog walk. She runs HOA meetings like military briefings, wins the president's seat unopposed, and brings in her husband, Judge Cornelius Whitehaven, as her legal bulldog. 3 months in, I get the certified letter. My unsightly fishing activities are disturbing the community's peaceful enjoyment. She paid $850,000 for that lake view, and apparently me catching dinner is a personal insult. The legal threats escalate. She actually demands I stop federally mandated research, says it interferes with her property values. I call my attorney Rebecca. She laughs so hard she nearly spits out her coffee. Federal research can't be stopped by HOA covenants, she says. If your lake's what I think, she's about to step on a legal landmine. So what happens when threats don't work? Priscilla files a bogus complaint about my dock. Poor county inspector comes out, sees my federal permits, apologizes, and probably prays for transfer. Priscilla, she just doubles down. Suddenly, every morning when I'm collecting water samples, her landscaping crew is out, chainsaws, mowers, leaf blowers, all roaring right on cue. Diesel fumes drifting over the water, mixing with that fresh spring air, turning my piece into a construction zone. But I keep filing reports, collecting samples, holding the line, because some things like endangered snails matter more than her next house-flipping scheme. Then comes her big play, the inaugural Velocity Drone Racing League Championship, $50,000 in prize money, ESPN coverage, and guess who owns the racing league? Yep, Whitehaven Industries. This isn't just a hobby. These drones are 15-pound custom rockets with cameras and interference that scrambles every piece of research gear I own. For 3 days straight, my equipment goes haywire. GPS fails, cameras go to static, and the peaceful lake turns into a war zone of buzzing engines and screaming fans. And the kicker, her HOA ordinance bans recreational fishing during events. Translation: I can't even set foot on my own dock. $500 a day fines. Priscilla's husband's law firm handling the paperwork. Judge Whitehaven rubber stamping every scam. By now, I'm burning thousands in legal fees just to keep my own research gear in place. She wants to bleed me dry, force me out. Anonymous complaints start pouring in. Fish and Wildlife, EPA, Coast Guard, all investigating me for fake violations. Every inspector leaves, shaking their head my paperwork's airtight. But that's not the point. The point is to wear me down. The twist: Priscilla orders an emergency algae treatment while I'm in D.C. at a conference. Hampton Environmental dumps $8,500 of copper sulfate straight into the lake. No testing, no warning, no clue what's actually in the water. I get home and it's like a chemical plant exploded. Dead fish everywhere, amphibians floating belly up, 15 years of research wiped out in a day. But Priscilla's arrogance just gave me the one thing she never expected: evidence of a federal crime. My first call, Dr. Harper at Fish and Wildlife. She goes full crisis mode, hazmat suits, black SUVs, a mobile lab on my lawn before noon. The numbers are brutal copper sulfate, 4 times the legal limit, pH, toxic oxygen gone. And here's the twist nobody saw coming: Lake Mitchell's a protected federal habitat. And I'm not just a scientist. Turns out my contract includes law enforcement authority. 15 years and nobody ever told me I was a sworn federal officer with the power to investigate and arrest for environmental crimes on this property. Suddenly, it's not just a turf war, it's environmental terrorism, and every sample, every dead snail, every drop of poisoned water is evidence. The feds are already tracking chemical events like this, and Priscilla's stunt triggers automated alerts straight to the FBI's terrorism task force, their investigation 8 months deep. Turns out, Whitehaven Industries is running the same racing scam in 12 HOAs across 3 states' property values, artificially pumped homeowners forced to pay for upgrades, profit split between boards and corporate partners. Judge Whitehaven handles the legal cover, buries complaints, and anyone who pushes back gets hammered with lawsuits. The morning of the championship, the air is buzzing, ESPN crews everywhere, Priscilla in her racing outfit, crowds of 2,000 lining the shore. But this time federal agents are in the stands undercover. I walk to my dock badge on my chest, ready to end this on live TV. I call out Priscilla. She tries to have security remove me. I flash my badge and her face turns 3 shades paler than usual. Mrs. Whitehaven, you're being investigated for environmental terrorism. Her voice cracks, but the cameras catch everything. Her denials, the crowd's confusion, and then Agent Blackwood steps forward. Judge Whitehaven's already in cuffs at his country club. All the key players are being rounded up. 12 HOA presidents. 6 county officials, 4 judges, every last one tangled in this mess. Dr. Crawford, my underwater ecologist, surfaces with dead endangered snails and toxic sludge proof of systematic ecosystem destruction. Priscilla shrieks about economic development and worthless creatures, but nobody's listening. The feds shut down the race. ESPN's breaking news banner flashes across the screen. The drones, by the way, are seized as evidence, not just for environmental crimes, but for illegal surveillance. Turns out those toys were spying on federal officers, monitoring our every move. In the end, Priscilla pleads guilty to 37 federal counts, including terrorism, racketeering, conspiracy, money laundering, you name it. Her husband loses his judgeship, pension law license, everything. Their mansion becomes a federal training center for environmental crime investigation. Yeah, the irony is perfect. Lake Mitchell is declared a national research monument with $2.8 million in restoration funding. The snails return the lake heals, and the kids who watch this circus grow up learning about environmental justice instead of drone racing profits. But here's the part that really gets me. 3 years later, I get a letter from Priscilla in federal prison. She's found religion, wants forgiveness, says she finally understands why endangered species matter. I don't answer. Some bridges deserve to stay burned. Instead, her letter goes in the Lake Mitchell archives, a warning for anyone who thinks money and titles put them above federal law. These days, I wake up to the splash of fish, not the screech of racing engines. The lake's alive again, herons wading, dragonflies dancing, snails building colonies in clean water. Sometimes when the mist rises, I remember how close we came to losing it all. And I remember the lesson that matters most. Federal law is non-negotiable. Justice comes for everyone, especially for suburban tyrants who think they can rewrite the rules. So here's my question for you. If someone tried to destroy your home, your life's work, just for a profit, what would you do? Drop your story in the comments because someone out there needs to hear it. And if you got fired up hearing about this little showdown hit, like subscribe. And let's make sure the next Priscilla doesn't get a second act. Your voice matters, so does your story.